Good evening, everybody. System Chalk here with, I believe, the 89th episode of our first run through House of Light on YouTube. It's been a very wearying day, so it seemed like a good idea to break up the episodes, and then now that I'm doing them, not so much. But we will do our best. Now, one bit of good news, I suppose, is that I did leave myself sort of notes in terms of things that I should be doing. So I believe we should be reading the Iron Book. We will level up Disciplines of the Hammer. I did make a note here to prep the salon. Now, the funny thing about this is I don't think I settled on who will be arriving, but I don't know. I mean, really, if I think about it, even if something changes based on who visits at the start of the season, that would change one position in the salon. So maybe we'll spend some time thinking of that today. And then I did make a note to make the Didymos. That's more of an open question, although I think because we're going to be working with music, I have a fair shot. There's kind of an interesting dilemma that I have. I guess I'm using the Mazarine Fife right now, but because we've got an application which will accept a sound or an omen, then inspiration will accept a memory, and of course memory will accept memory. And also because the application and inspiration don't have limits in terms of what can be inserted, there's kind of a question in terms of whether or not it makes sense to... So you could use the grand piano, say, or I could go to the pale desk and use the Mazarine Fife instead. And the argument for the Mazarine Fife is that it will give you a 3 sky to work with. So that's quite high. That's higher than what you'd normally get from a memory, for instance. But the thing is that you then only have one memory slot. Whereas with the grand piano... I have, sure, it's a memory slot that has to have some kind of sky, which obviously I'd be using anyway. By the way, when I say grand piano, it really applies to any of the instruments that will accept sky. But you have 2 other slots here, one of which can accept a memory, and if you play your cards right, you can put, so to speak, you can put music inside. Usually music's the better of the options here. So for instance, at a bare minimum, I could put something like a cheerful ditty. The inspiration can be any old sky that I want, and then as long as I've got the sky here. In general, you should expect to get more than 3... You should expect to get more than 3 sky out of it. Although, it depends sort of what access you have in terms of certain books. One simple way of thinking about it for me would be if I can find a 2, 2, and 2, so maybe something like Storm, Cheerful Ditty, and Beguiling Melody should probably do the trick there. That would get me a total of 6, which I then add to the the whatever skill that I have. Anyway, that's probably a conversation for another time. So we are kind of on our way to a few of these things. So maybe what I'll do while I wait for certain outcomes. First of all, I want to see if I'm bringing in Denzel. Looks like I am. I'm thinking maybe one option that I have here would be to start thinking about the guests. So I think we had a Douglas and Arthur interaction, although I also think that might have reached the end. So let's do... Let's invite Daymare. Coquille. Douglas. Peter Ecdistis. I mean, normally I've invited Fraser Strathcoyne. Let's see if any other names jump out at me here. Got Olympe Bichet. We've got Schaller. Actually, I'm trying to think which one was the more recent group. Let's invite Corso. Okay, so adding Daymare. Actually, you know what? This is silly that I'm making this. My decision to add Daymare is dependent on whether or not I have any dripping, which I don't. Okay. We're going to give her a skip this time around. And it's purely just because I don't want to have to try and make game chips again. I have other options, but we also have other people we can bring in. Yvette might be interesting. Serena. Yeah, you know what? Let's add Serena. Or I could go for a bunch of edge types. So we've got Arthur, Lalakaima. Oh, we don't have Zeta yet, so maybe we'll leave that. Okay. Now would not be a bad time for me to... So before I go too far on this, I should maybe work out some rough dishes, and then I also want to make sure that I have the right food. So Serena, Forge. Coquille, almost certainly Grail. Corso Grail. Peter Ictistus, I think, is Sky? Or no, Heart, right. We used... and then Douglas Moore, I believe, is Lantern. Okay. So, for the food, let's maybe sort out our Grail first. So maybe we do... Actually, I probably want to buy more, but maybe if we do jugged pheasant and then cold pheasant with grape salad? For Forge... So that's the main and the... Oh heavens, what was it? Main in the first course. Maybe poached mackerel. Actually, roast potatoes. Okay, so then I need a pudding, and that will either be a heart or a lantern. Now, heart kind of takes care of everything, so maybe we'll see... Well, I mean, we usually do orange jumble if we need a... Yeah. So the heart should be pretty straightforward to figure out. We could do Stargazy pie. We could do... Actually, that would cover me for Forge as well. Maybe we'll do poached mackerel. Okay, so I mean, kind of some arbitrary choices there, but I think I can work with these basics. So let's start the jugged pheasant, I think. Okay. And then because I know I'm going to want some more, maybe we'll order 3 in this case. Yep. Should probably take a minute and just see if there's, excuse me, if there's anything else that I can work on, but... Rest and refreshment spring. It is spring, and the landlady has served me a slice of her stargazy pie with the pilchard heads poking cheekily through the hot crust. So this is more just taking advantage of the, any memories that it gives me. We might, make a try for something, but I don't mind if we just focus on memory generation. Speak to Denzel, he might even reply. Okay. I'll do a quick renewal just to see. So, Naveen Parchment, Arsenic, Desiccated Witchworm, Schloss Jannings, Strathcoyne Whiskey, Roscragan Whiskey, Raveline Wine Lambig, Armagnac Drinking Cocoa, Pheasant Plums, Beef or Almonds. All of these are potential options, but none of them are ones that I feel really... I don't feel an urgent need to work with them. So post a completed TRN order form. We might do something with Cater and Hero, but this is really more about replacement at this point. The postmistress signs and seals the order, places it in the place, and places it in the place that stamped orders are properly placed. Wait 3 days, she commands. Got my Florin back. Suppose I should probably work on invitations now, so if it's going to be... If we've kind of settled on a group, I can add... Well, Serena might be... Oh no, we can still handle that. Oh, we also seem to be short an ink. He does a lot with Silence This Man, so the Foresight's a welcome start. That'll help me with Disciplines of the Hammer. And looks like I'm already making the ink, which is good. Now, if I want, I can actually make a little bit more, but we're also getting close to the point where I'll get access to some typewriters soon, so I'm debating as to whether or not I actually want to... I want to put that effort in. Okay, so next up would be Coquille. Great Signs and Great Scars should let us do the trick there. A dish with edge, grail, heart, rose, scale, and sky. The hunter's reward. We don't have that many options in terms of the rooms, but let's we'll go for the refectory this time. Okay, moving on. Maybe I'll alternate. So let's do the cold pheasant now. And actually, I seem to remember there were some grapes up here. Make cold pheasant with grape salad, a dish with grail, heart, nectar, rose, and sky. So I'm just doing the invitations in the order that I wrote them down. There's no real design behind this. Nor does there have to be, though, so... Okay. We can do Corso as well, actually, but we'll do it in order. It's kind of neat. I'm getting it all done in one desk too, so. Better now. Okay. I think for this, let's earn a bit of money. There's not much work on offer in Brandkrug, but I can find 6 pence worth of odd jobs. I may change up what elements of the soul I use for that, but we'll see where the day takes me. He does a lot with silence, this man. Now, I'm happy to get the storm. It's not directly related to my current wish to level up Disciplines of the Hammer, but this does give me some fuel for trying to get the Didymos. Okay. So move that down. Don't think Drums and Dances does the trick here, but Sacralamea should. And I think we should be 40 seconds away, but we'll have that done soon. Alright, craft an Ascendant Harmony. With Keeper level Sky, an Ascendant Harmony might conjure a Didymos. So the question, of course, is which element of the soul, or which skill is relevant for that. I don't think I would have an answer. So the Ascendant Harmony gives me 4, so we can get 6 out of this. This would actually be a case where the Nazarene Fife is slightly more helpful, but I don't think we have what it takes. So the best I've got right now is Bells and Braziers. Yeah, we're too short. But I should take that as a symbol, right? So the one challenge right now is that I only have 1 empty slot. I can't have the Nazarene Fife in the slots here. But if I can find another sky source, and it's worth remembering that the Ascendant Harmony is persistent, so I don't need to worry about losing it overnight if things don't go my way. But we might be able to try and angle this into something a little more helpful for getting the Didymos. I think that was because I wanted to read a specific text, so I don't actually need to worry about that till the next day anyway. Okay. There's a Beastus. One more time. This time with Corso. And there we have it. I have enough here to craft a letter inviting Corso to Brandkrug. So, what do I want to do with... I think we're still going to wait. I'll cook the things that I can, and we'll see what the day brings. Well, I can get a quick peek, but I think if we do Sacralamea, Faust, Ascendant Harmony, Storm. Oh, that's very interesting, actually. So I don't think I have another 2 sky that I can get from Denzil, but we should, you know what, I think this will be a case where reading a book helps. So we'll read The Intimations of Skin. I've already mastered this, but I could reread it and perhaps recall a memory. There's the Corso invitation. So we're not guaranteed that Sacralamea gives a Didymos. I think it does, but I'm not 100% sure. Obviously, I'm a little foggy today, but I think it's worth trying. And as you can see, I mean, maybe not metal. I should have maybe been a little more careful there, but losing an element of the soul on an experiment at this point isn't quite as bad as I don't know, like at the last minutes of Numa or something like that. So we can afford to experiment. A little less so when we have memories to work with, but Okay, Edge Conquest, the Iron Book, a manual of the Ordo Limea, an order of quasi-immortals who maintained a secret enclave at the source of the river Limia in the Roman province of Hispania Gallicaea. This manual was compiled by one Milari Yivni, who claims to have traveled to join the Ordo from the crossroads of the waters. Members of the Ordo took an oath, the Iron Chain, that required them to remain hidden from the world. This manual includes presumably long obsolete addresses and passphrases that could be used to find the Ordo's contact in the town of Iria. The final part of the manual describes the punishments for Ordo members who break their oath of secrecy. This includes an invocation used to summon the spirit called King Crucible as an agent of vengeance. Yivni cautions that this must be a last resort when the oathbreaker would otherwise go unpunished. Summoning King Crucible might draw the personal attention of the Forge of Days. A marginal note suggests in any case that King Crucible, in a most transcendent sulk of sulks, no longer leaves the Mansus. Okay, so we'll put that beside the Book of Cinders. Obviously, it would be nice if we didn't overwrite some of the stuff that Denzel gave us, but we don't always get that option. And I think I'm one short for Disciplines of the Hammer, so it's all well and good. I guess what we could do here would be we could take the Foresight and then the Old Wound, because it doesn't take a whole lot for us to get the Old Wound back. We might as well. So we'll toss... I'll toss a medal at that because the Arab might be useful for cooking in this case. I'm no expert, but I'm no dabbler either. We'll think a little bit about what the next level for Disciplines of the Scar will be, but... Okay, there is the cold pheasant with grape salad. And I don't know if this is because... Yeah, this doesn't seem like I can place it, so... Let it air out for a minute. We'll try again. Yeah, it'll do. So orange jumble, I guess we can do next. So I'm running short on almonds. So it might not be a bad idea for me to collect a few more, but I feel like it's boring that I always pick the orange jumble, but it's an easy one to make, and I don't know. It sounds nice. It's fun to read the description. As I used to say in my youth, the day is done and so am I, but I've earned my pay. Okay. It is spring, and the landlady has served me a slice of her stargazy pie, with pilchard heads poking cheekily through the hot crust. So, I do apologize. I know this feels like this has been a little bit of a more quiet broadcast. I guess partly I'm feeling that because the game has been very quiet for a little bit. But we are on our way to a salon. I'll actually take a minute here and get the old wound back. For that, let's try... I don't know if I want to give up a scale for this. Let's do the core. I feel kind of bad about that, but... But yeah, so we're laying some foundations for the next season. We are trying to get a little bit more progress towards the Tree of Wisdoms. I know that's going to be more of a long-term goal, but honestly, just being able to knock down a few more of the books is already a big help. The skill is now level 3. Its power aspects have also increased. So we have to wait a little while. We have plenty of elements of the soul, so if it really comes down to it, we can force out the remaining ones. But let's see if we can get our Didymos now. So the intimations of skin, fiendishly complex, weirdly distorted illustrations of Congress and anatomy by the haunted visionary painter Niels Frederick Malsker. Malsker illuminates the evolutions of the names of the Grail with unfortunate clarity. It seems that a lovely who consumes an ivory becomes an ivory, a lovely who consumes a thirstly becomes a thirstly, a lovely who consumes a name of another hour might take its place. In the penultimate illustration, a lovely grapples with a fungoid knot that can only be a name of the crowned growth. The lovely's mouth and other portals gape wide, and the growth name is already partially engulfed. But it seems that Malsker couldn't bring himself to illustrate the result, and the final illustration is only a scrawled, bloated obscurity. So, this is where we're going to try and pay off on the on all the elements that I have. Very nice. Okay. Although, interestingly enough, we don't have the wood, so we don't get to see that we can make the Mazarine Fife out of it. But anyways, Didymos. Evoke a chilly sky influence. Sacrolameo with keeper level sky plus Ascended Harmony creates Didymos. So it'll take us 2 minutes. That's kind of the rest of the day. Now, the good news out of that is that it means that we'll almost certainly be able to read the VAC text. I think it was the Origin of Hours, if I'm not mistaken. And that's what levels up Sacrolamea. Whether I want to or not, I suppose, is another question. But that'll be something that we do for the next season. So I'm pretty happy about that. In fact, on my to-do list... the only thing I didn't do was look for any books that might allow me to level up Anbury and Lapdary. Denzel's coming through with the fear, too. Very nice. So I think what I'll do here is I'll wait until we hear the bells and birds, but we also have enough Tryst and Fett now that I think I can afford to take a trip to Crowcross Sands and the Moor. The gorse is bright on the landsnape. Alright, while we do that, I think I'm willing to take my Tryst and prepare another pot of ink. Again, it's not the most pressing concern for me right now, but I'm not convinced I'm going to have enough. Well, actually, I probably had enough time to go to Crowcross Sands again, but it'd be close to the edge of the time. And like I said, we'll see what Denzel winds up giving me, but if I need to use a couple elements of the soul to level up Disciplines of the Hammer, that's not a big deal. Okay, so we've got the... Oh, roast potatoes. Okay. So I did put down poached mackerel, although... Oh no, you have both pilchards and mackerel, so... we should be fine. I'm going to use the health before the Arab just because Arab does have edge in case I need it. I only need to do one more upgrade, so I don't think it's a big deal, but it's just nice to sort of tuck away the ones that are not critical. And then for the roast potatoes, I'm going to need to interact with the one of the sacks of vegetables, so we can do that now because I'm going to use this to level up Disciplines of the Hammer soon. So identify as potatoes. These are potatoes. Spectacular. So I actually think we might have all the prep for the salon done before the end of the season. That's unexpected, but I'm quite happy about that. Better now. So I don't think it hurts for us to do more fixing and mending. We only need one element of the soul for Disciplines of the Hammer. There's our old wound. Move gingerly while the pain lasts. And there's regret, so we only need one memory now from Denzel. He might even reply. We could, of course, use the old wound right away, but that doesn't seem... like, I don't think that's critical right now, seeing as we have plenty of elements of the soul to be able to pick up some goodies. Now, what might be an idea, though... so let's say I keep the metal for Disciplines of the Hammer. I'm wondering if maybe I can get away with trying to make another... oof. Transformations and Liberations is not going to make this easy. So I was thinking how I might get away with making another Iotic Essence, but it seems to me like... so first of all, I would need a liquid. And then second of all... yeah, I don't know. There are a couple things that I can do to sort of angle it around, but maybe not enough for me to say this is the top priority. So I think what I'll do, FET and health for investigating like Crowcross Sands and such. Brilliant. Okay, so we don't need anything to level up Disciplines of the Hammer now. Another fruit plucked from knowledge's tree. So I'd say, let's say we use the FET and the health for investigating locations. The Arab, let me just double check what I've got here. The Arab will make the potatoes. So now the question is, what do I do with the remaining Shapton metal for the day? If I had the sky, I could try to make another Ascendant Harmony. I think I kind of blew it here, because I don't believe either of these... Well, no, there's a possibility here. So I definitely need to bring in the Mazarine Fife. Now, if I read a book, it's too late because I need a minute and a half for this. So I need to find 2 more sky that isn't currently in my inventory. Well, we did it last time. So now the interesting question, can I make a replacement Awakened Feather? Probably not right now. But what I am curious about is if I go to Drums and Dances needs heart. Yeah, I don't think any of these really let me do quite what I want. So maybe we'll just use the metal to earn some money here. I need to figure out what's got... There's clearly something that's changed in the patches to make the shelving a little funny when I'm moving around my mouse, but I can't quite put my finger on it. These are definitely going to be cutting it close, but I think I want to go for it. We do not poach fish in Brandkrug without recalling the turbot crisis of 1786, when Dr. Westcott caught a prodigious turbot and required the kitchen to poach it for him without division, but no vessel of sufficient size could be found to poach it entire. At last they resorted to alchemical assistance. Mackerel, fortunately, requires no alchemy for its poaching. All right. Again, letting it air out for a little bit on the bridge. This could genuinely be because there's no room on the table, so I'll try one more time. Also, this just looks really good. I realize it's a stylized image of mackerel, but I don't know. I like fish. All right. So, I know we're close to the end, but let's get the potatoes started. And yes, well, let's actually take the time now. I've got one more episode, but I think I might just take a quick break. Maybe I'll get some tea or something, but I'm going to try and be a little more on the ball for Friday's episode. As I used to say in my youth, the day is done and so am I, but I've earned my pay. There's not much work on offer in Brandkrug, but I can find 6 pence worth of odd jobs. I don't feel too bad about a predominantly sort of money-focused batch at the Sweet Bones this time around, because we did order some pheasant, and I can definitely see myself doing a few more orders. And we've got our level 4. So I'll talk with Denzel one more time. It doesn't hurt to just try and queue up a memory overnight. And then the hope here... First of all, the hope here is that I'm going to be able to level up a skill that can turn Ava's locks into... Any room up here? No. I want to try and level something up that'll allow me to turn Ava's locks into Solomon's preparation. There we go. More rocks. All right. And I think that's it. So this is a little bit more for setup, but we managed to get our... So the big one was a little bit of extra room on for Disciplines of the Hammer. We've got most of the salon prepped, although I still need to make the drinks. I didn't work out Anbury and Lapdairy, but what was an unexpected result was I was able to get the Didymos. Which means that when the next season comes, I'll be able to read on the Origins of Hours. I'll be able to turn that into Sacralamea. So that, I mean, on its own is not super important, although it'll probably make it easier to get a Didymos in the future. But what that does is that helps me sort of cap out my my Horamakastry branch. In fact, I may just take some of the Sacralamea and put it into Sacra Solis Invicti, which would theoretically be the position 6 entry. But overall, that's just going to be something that allows me to commit a few more things to the Tree of Wisdoms, but also it opens up a few more branches on the Tree of Wisdom, so we can do some similar reasoning for the future, for sort of future branches. Of course, all of that will probably happen after the Salon, because the Salon will probably be the bigger determination in terms of where all the different skills wind up going. So, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for watching. There should be Friday's episode coming up next, and in that, I'm not 100% sure I'll be able to get the Salon done, but at the very least, we will entertain another guest and try and make some progress on the affair of the God in the Wood. I'll see you then. Take care.